available to our people. Yes, sir.
What's your position on illegal immigration?
Well, I think Jim kind of spoke for me on that one too. That's it's illegal. The problem is there's too many vested interests who want to see the illegals coming over the border, whether it's to vote illegally or whether it's to work for cheap labor. It's slave labor. I don't care what you call it. It's slave labor in my view. I don't mind having a foreign worker program, but like Jim said, I want to know who's in our country. Our prisons are filled with illegal immigrants. We're paying $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year to house these people who were criminals in the countries that came from, and now they're criminals in our country. But we're housing them, and we're paying a steep price for that. We need to stop illegal immigration.
How do you stop all the pork on all these bills? If you go, how do you get to stop it? I mean, I don't know how to stop it.
You know, I got an interesting chart in the middle. I was going to bring in a show and tell, but it didn't work out. It was too small. This young man came up with this idea. He created all the discretionary spending for the government on a chart. And so let's say you have like the State Department. You have a big circle of the State Department, and they take up so many hundreds of billions of dollars a year. And then they had all the programs of the State Department around it, and each circle around it represented the amount of money that that particular department took. And if you look at it, and my daughter was home from college, and she was looking at it, she goes, "You gotta be kidding me. All these just programs in there, you just gotta go in there, and you've gotta have the strength and the temerity to say, that goes, that goes, that goes, that goes." And they go, "Well, how can you be like that?" We're bankrupt, folks. We're bankrupt. They are spending our children into bankruptcy. We've got to stop them. And if we have enough people that go to Congress, like me, or anybody else that's willing to stand up to the power brokers in Washington, we'll get it done.
Even if it means that, you know, your hometown doesn't get, you know, the extras and whatever. Are you strong enough to stand up to people who...
Yes, and here's why, because I can tell you what's going on in Washington. What they're doing, when Tom Perriello comes in with $1 million program for you, guess where he got that money from? He got it from you. And he not only got it from you, but he took it out as $3 million. What people need to understand is that when money leaves a community, so do jobs. Now, the economists have a rule of thumb. And the rule of thumb is this: if you take $1 million out of an economy, I don't care if you're taking it out because someone's spending it, or if you're taking out the taxes and fees, it doesn't matter. You take $1 million out of the community, it's 11 jobs leave that community. If you put $1 million into a community, somehow you'll get 11 jobs will be created by that $1 million. Billions of dollars right now are leaving the 5th District. Can you visualize the billions of dollars going to Washington, and along with those dollars go jobs? Cap and trade, someone mentioned that earlier. Cap and trade will cost the 5th District alone 5,000 jobs. Permanent jobs that will go to India and China and will never return. They're manufacturing and farming jobs. Why? Because it's the equivalent amount of money that will leave as we all start to spend more for energy costs, whether it's in gasoline, kerosene, diesel, or electricity rates. So that's how economists come up and say that's how many jobs that this particular bill is going to cost us, because of the money that leaves our communities. So, yes, sir.
Guns in the cockpit.
Yes.
You care.
Guns in the cockpit, you carry. Yes.
Prior to D.B. Cooper, anybody could carry a gun on their plane.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Would you go back to that, given profiling?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Here's the thing. Here's what you have to understand about the Second Amendment. You either trust your fellow citizens or you do not. People who want to limit access to guns do not trust their fellow citizens. I don't care if everyone in this room was armed right now. I am just as comfortable with people that are armed as not. So I wouldn't have a problem with people carrying weapons on board.
That would just be whoever gets to take his gun back on the plane again.
Yeah, he wants to take your gun away, but he wants access to his. And then it's like Rosie O'Donnell didn't want you to have a gun, but she wanted her security guards to have guns in the kindergarten with their kids. So they have a mindset. But the point is that, yeah, I would be.
They know better than you.
Of course they do, and that's how they would tell us to live our
And it's
lives.
a right for adults.
How much? Okay, thank you very much.